Now to Canada, where from today a 100% tariff on Chinese-made EVs comes into force. It's a move similar to those that have been made in the United States and the EU. All of them are concerned that China's cheap cars are unfairly distorting the global market for what is still a pretty emerging technology. Canada's international trade minister has told the BBC that she hopes her country isn't entering a trade war with China. Here's our business reporter, Jonathan Josephs.
Chinese car companies are producing and exporting record numbers of electric vehicles. They've had huge financial support from their government, which says Canada's tariffs are against global trade rules. Their low prices might make tackling climate change more affordable, but Canada's trade minister told me that's not enough.
We know that China has an intentional state-directed policy of overcapacity that and that they generally don't meet the same labor and environmental standards as Canadian producers do. So these tariffs are really a necessary measure to counter those practices and that really distort competition. And I think what you're seeing in Canada's decision is a decision that will ensure that we stand up for our workers and our manufacturers, and that we are building those EVs of the future, and also standing up for fair trade.
As you will know, your critics will say these tariffs mean Canadians will be paying more for electric vehicles and that it will therefore become harder for them to take this action that helps tackle climate change. What do you say in response?
We have a very, very robust climate action plan here in Canada. In fact, our government has put forward a plan where in Canada by 2030 that we will have electric vehicles all across the country, and we've got incentives that are in place to help Canadian consumers in the purchasing and the adoption of electric vehicles.
China's already started the process of retaliating against these tariffs. Your canola oil producers look like they're in the firing line. Can you afford to win a trade war against the world's second biggest economy?
Well, I hope that we're not entering a trade war. I mean, what I said and what this is about is making sure that we are countering practices that are distortive in the global marketplace. But on the issue of Canadian canola, no one has ever accused Canadian producers of ever dumping into a market. Canadians are fair traders.
You say you're not interested in a trade war, but your government is already looking at tariffs on Chinese EV batteries, semiconductors, solar products, and critical minerals. Are you sure that that won't lead to a trade war?
I think what that is intended to do is ensure that there's a level playing field. We are imposing a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum products imported by China that will come into effect the middle of October. So what we're trying to do here is stand up for a fair trading system.
China has taken its grievances to the World Trade Organization, but in a world of increasingly fragmented trade, a solution seems a long way off. Jonathan Josephs, BBC News.
Some other business stories for you now.